Welcome to Habitly Courses, a production of Manage to Win. Each course is divided into multiple lessons for easy viewing. All are now completely free, so you can watch them on your own or work through them as a team. Please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, and share your favorite lessons with others. Try to find something that helps you be your best.
Hello, this is David Russell. I'm back. We're talking about business etiquette. And here in lesson 2, we're going to talk about courtesy 101. Now, I've got 20 behaviors that I'm going to ask you questions on so that you can learn what are best practices in these 20 areas. Do you know them? Do you demonstrate them consistently? Now, I was raised in a family where I was taught good manners. Now, that doesn't mean I'm perfect, but I was taught about sitting up straight at the dinner table. And when you meet someone, you shake their hand and you look them in the eye and you greet them and you introduce yourself. I was taught how to do those things. A lot of people are not. And as a matter of fact, today in 2016, fewer and fewer people have been taught these things. So if you can do these behaviors correctly, according to the standards that have been set, not by me, but by others who have come before us, you're going to have an edge in the marketplace. And quite frankly, it shows other people you care about them. It demonstrates respect, and it builds trust. So I hope you're in a group. If you're not, you can enjoy this alone, but it's fun in a group. You might keep score. How many does each person get correct? And you may want to stop the video after I ask the question. I'm not going to give you a lot of time. 20 behaviors to really demonstrate courtesy as you're working with other people. And quite frankly, a lot of these work personally. All right, first one, interruptions during a meeting. So you're hosting a business meeting and everyone has arrived. Your cell phone rings, you receive a text or an email pops up on your screen. The question is, do you answer the phone or respond to the text or the email? And the answer is no. Your guests at the meeting are the priority. Your ringer should be on silent and cell phone face down on the table. If you've got email program, it needs to be closed or hide it. Don't have it open on your system. I was in a meeting once with a VP of software development. There were about 8 people in the meeting, and she was answering emails and doing other things on her computer the whole meeting. About 45 minutes into the meeting, she made a comment. And it had no bearing on what was going on in the meeting at all because she was only paying partial attention. When you're in that meeting, you pay attention. Number 2, you're producing a business event. At least some of your guests or peers do not know each other, and you want people to enjoy lively conversation. Question, how should you seat your guests? Open or assigned seating? And the answer is open seating. Let them know in advance. Encourage people to sit with people they do not know. Now, I do have one option on here, which is a little bit of a hassle, and you may have to ask people to bring new silverware, who's ever serving you at the restaurant or whatever it is. But you can let people know at the beginning when they all sit down, say, okay, well, sit down, enjoy who you're speaking with, but halfway through, I'm going to have everybody play musical chairs, and I want you to sit next to 2 new people that you were not sitting next to before. So enjoy your conversations, and then I want you to get to know each other, so we're going to switch it up halfway through. It's a little bit of a hassle, but it can be some fun. Number 3, yawning. For whatever reason, you're a bit tired. You're talking with someone else or in a meeting with several others, and you feel a yawn coming on. Is it necessary to cover your mouth when you yawn? And the answer is yes. Always. Everywhere there are other people around. If you're outside, you're around other people. Even if you're not in a meeting, you're walking down the street. Yawning communicates you're bored. It's rude. People don't want to look down your throat. I was raised that we cover our mouth when we yawn. It is a standard. Yet I would say 50% of people no longer understand this as a standard. And by the way, have you ever looked at yourself when you yawn? It's not your best look. So Cover your mouth. It's proper behavior in a business environment, quite frankly, in a personal environment also. Do it. Cover your mouth. All right. Number 4, you're invited to a coworker, boss, client, or vendor's home for a meal. The question is, do you bring a gift? And if so, what is appropriate? And the answer is yes, you do bring a gift. Give them something related to a favorite activity of theirs. So make it personal. Get to know them. Look into what they like. Now, don't personalize it because they might return it or give it away themselves. Avoid flowers unless they're in a vase, or food or liquor gifts. I mean, liquor, they may not be drinkers. I mean, quite frankly, I don't drink. I haven't had to drink alcohol in 20 plus years, and I was not an alcoholic. It wasn't my issue. I just noticed that the next day, even if I only had one glass of wine, I could feel it physically, and it was weakening. I also had a number of friends who were struggling with alcohol, and it was ruining their lives. And so I decided I didn't want to be an example to them or an encourager to them of alcohol. So I just stopped, never gone back. The other thing to do when you're thinking of the gift is avoid encouraging unhealthy habits. Might be alcohol, might be really fatty foods, might be whatever. So watch that too. But when you can give something personal that's healthy or positive, that's a great thing. Number 5, a man and a woman arrive at a revolving door about the same time. The question is, who enters first? And the answer is, it depends. The man enters first if it is a manual revolving door, so he can push it and get it moving for the woman after he gives her a smile, a nod, and let me get this going for you type of comment. He's being thoughtful. The woman goes first if it's an electric revolving door, and that push from the man is unnecessary. Fun, huh? All right, number 6. You receive a call or need to make a call on your cell phone in a public place. The question is it okay to have a conversation as long as you're talking softly? You see this all the time, right? The answer is no. Other people can hear too much of your conversation unless you're walking alone. Particularly avoid cell phone conversations on airplanes, trains, buses, and taxis. Have you ever heard someone, you've been on an airplane, you hear some guy talking on his cell phone or a woman? You can hear everything for several rows. Public cell phone conversations put information at risk and are rude to other people who are present. All right, question number 7. A coworker, boss, client, or vendor has invited you in the past to their home, a golf outing, or other event. So the question is, do you have to invite them when you organize a similar gathering? The answer is no. The exception is if you've been invited multiple times. And my advice is a handwritten thank you note is still the classiest way to express appreciation for attending their gathering. Email's nice, text is nice, but handwritten note is the nicest, particularly if it's a nice card. Number 8, you're asked to write a recommendation for someone, but you do not have anything positive to say. That's a quandary. Question, what do you do? The answer is be honest, yet polite and respectful. Explain what you are comfortable communicating. There must be something. If that would be helpful, then provide an honest response. Don't debate with someone. So you say, well, here's what I'm comfortable saying. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Next question. Number 9. You're at the home of a coworker, boss, client, or vendor and are curious about what they paid for the home or to rent it. The question is, can you ask a personal question like that? The answer? Not directly. So you can sincerely compliment something about their home. You probably are anyway if you're interested. And then ask the selling price or rental costs of similar homes in the area. Don't say, what did you pay? Say, wow, this is really nice. What do homes rent for in this area? Or what do homes typically sell for in this area? You can ask that. All right, that's number 9. Number 10, this will be halfway through. You've talked with someone and believe it's time for additional conversation, but they're not responding to your initial follow-up voicemail or email. So the question is, how soon can you contact them again without being rude? The answer is, it varies. The golden rule is, how quickly do you reply to other people? You know, it's funny. I talk with people and they'll complain, that guy never got back to me, but they never return their phone calls or emails. Treat them the same. Typically give them 3 to 5 business days to respond. Shorter time frames for urgent situations, but explain why. You want to stay persistent, but not be a pest. It's kind of a fine line between being persistent and being a pest. The other thing to keep in mind is if they told you, don't contact me until such and such, or we won't have a decision until such and such, well, don't be pestering them before that time frame. That's number 10. Number 11, you have an itch or something is bothering you in some way while you're in a business conversation. Question is it okay to wipe your nose, pick your ear, scratch your skin, or wipe your mouth during business interactions with other people? And the answer is no. So if it's a minor situation, excuse yourself, kind of move out of sight. If it's a major situation, excuse yourself and go to the bathroom. Wash your hands before returning to the conversation. And I hate to give you this advice because it's going to gross you out, but hey, you watch for the next time someone else wipes their nose or mouth, wipes their mouth, picks their nose, scratches themselves with their right hand, and then shortly thereafter offers you that same hand for a handshake. You know, they're wiping their mouth or they're picking their nose or scratching their nose or sticking it in their ear, and then they want to shake your hand. What do you do in that situation? Well, you smile and shake their hand. Then you immediately go to the bathroom and wash your hands, unless you want to catch whatever they've got going on as far as their bacteria, a cold or whatever. All right, number 12. You're in a meeting with one or more people. Suddenly, one of the decision makers' body language turns very negative. The question is, what should you do? The answer is, engage without confrontation. So, ask for their opinion. Ask for specific feedback on solutions that have been discussed or indicated. If the meeting's been going on for some time, then consider taking a break and try to ask the person privately if they have any concerns. Don't challenge them in front of the group. We're not looking to confront. We're just trying to work through the issues. So you can ask questions. You can try to engage them. If it's not working, try to work with them one-on-one. Or if you're already in a one-on-one meeting, one option is to say, you know, it seems like you're struggling with this point. Can we talk about this a little bit? That type of thing. All right, let's move on. Number 13, you're speaking with someone in person or in a group. You feel a sneeze coming on. Question, how should you cover your mouth when you sneeze? And some people don't even cover their mouth. But how should you cover your mouth? And the answer is not with your hand. Should have remembered that from a moment ago. Sneeze into a tissue, a napkin, or the outside of your forearm. If your sneezes are messy, then keep tissues handy. Once again, my advice, you watch for the next time someone sneezes into their right hand and then offers you that hand for a handshake. You won't forget it. Once again, smile, do the handshake, go right to the bathroom, wash your hand. It's amazing how often it happens, and it's terrible. Now you're aware of it, you're going to see it. All right. Number 14, you meet or see someone you know who is pregnant. Question, is it okay for you to touch the pregnant woman's belly? And the answer is no. I should have put an exclamation point there. And you don't ask, is it okay if I touch your belly? Get your hands off. It's none of your business. Okay? Now, woman to woman, it's a little softer. Man to woman, totally out of bounds. Okay? Don't make any gestures or give hints that you would like to touch her belly. Now, if you're invited to touch her belly, you can do it, but do it briefly. All right? Don't just keep your hand there. Come on. There are some boundaries here. Number 15, someone says something interesting and or you have a photo of them that you would like to share. Question, is it rude to quote someone or post their photo online without asking them first? I mean, hey, you work together, you're friends, whatever. And the answer is yes, it is wrong. All right? That's almost like an oxymoron, whatever, double negative type of thing. But you don't do that. Posting information about someone or their photo without their permission online is potentially a legal liability. And the best thing is requesting permission via email or text or something you can save for a long time that says it was okay. Be safe rather than sorry. Number 16, we're in the final 25% here. You're seated when someone decides to introduce you to someone you do not know. The question is, should you stand up when being introduced? The answer is yes, unless you cannot physically get up. Energetically rise with a sincere smile, repeat their name, and welcome them. And by the way, you should also rise to meet people you know, and particularly women. This is common courtesy that was taught for hundreds of years. Number 17, someone gives you a business gift and you open it in their presence. Question, do you need to write them a thank you note? Question mark. Here we go. What do you think? And the answer is no. Your in-person thank you should be warm and sincere, and it is enough. Now, the exceptions are if it's your birthday or it's an anniversary or a holiday. Then you might do a follow-up. Thank you. That can be in writing, email, whatever. Typically, it would be in writing. Number 18, a man greets a woman in a business setting. The question, should the man shake her hand? The answer, it depends. The person of higher rank or the woman should extend their hand first. Think about that for a moment. If the woman does not, then the man may nod or bow slightly while making eye contact to demonstrate respect. If the woman extends her hand at the beginning of the meeting, the man may do so at the end. Important things to remember. All right, 2 more questions. Number 19, the coworker, boss, client, or vendor you're with is cursing and or using vulgar language or telling dirty jokes. Question, is it okay for you to behave in a similar manner? And the answer is no. Often you're going to be held to a higher standard by that person. I've heard it over and over again. Somebody who's with somebody who was cussing, all the time. They said 1 or 2 swear words, and later the other person said, boy, you can't believe that guy. He's got terrible language. They have a different standard, or others may have a standard that's higher, and they overhear you and they judge you based on that. And by the way, we're not going to judge the other person. We're just going to choose different language. And I do have some clients that believe that, foul language is part of their culture. And, that's just the way they are. That's their choice. I'm just saying you're losing some business opportunities when you behave this way. And last but not least, something happens where a coworker, boss, client, or vendor feels you made a mistake, but you don't think you did anything wrong. The question is, should you apologize? The answer, yes. At the very least, apologize for the situation and or that their expectations were not met or they had to have that difficulty. The second point I make here is accept full responsibility for anything you could have done differently or better. Your tone of voice, listening better, your words. I like to say that if there's an issue, if there's a problem, and you were 4% wrong, just 4%, the other person was 96% wrong, you still take full ownership of that 4% and apologize for that. So you can take ownership for your responsibility without making a commitment to absorb costs for anything that could have been done differently. You can be sincere, brief, focus on solutions, not the problem, and end positively. These are 20 tips for Courtesy 101. I've got them all here listed at the end. Lots of stuff to talk about. I hope you bring in some situations that have happened with you or service tickets, whatever it might be. Sales situations, lots of opportunities. Study these. All 20 are going to be on the exam. Study these, pass the exam, and then move on. This is the conclusion of Lesson 2 in Business Etiquette. I hope you enjoyed it. The next one, Lesson 3, is also a lot of fun. Bye for now.